If you don't mind.
Always about you.
Good evening.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Do you mind if I sit next to you?
I guess so. I don't mind.
It's good afternoon. Just so you know, I will be recording this as well.
Anything
that you don't say correctly.
You're going to use against this?
I'm okay with that. Just saying. Yeah.
Just kidding. Lore. It's a podcast. Aaron Mankey. Folklore, true life incidents, things that have happened, things that have gone unexplained for years and years. How did I get involved with this project, you might ask yourselves? Well, I took a hiatus from Scorpion, and I was looking for something to take me out of my job that I do for 10 months a year. And I heard about this, and I knew Gail Ann Hurd from Terminator, the franchise, and I know Glenn Morgan from the X-Files franchise, and it seemed like a really good pedigree with Aaron Mankey. And then I read the script and realized I was going to get to do a period piece, which is exactly what I was looking for. Forget about Cave Gallo and what you do for 10 months out of the year and do something else. And I thought, well, that'll be great. I'd really like to do this. Then I read the script, and it was really unique how they put the whole thing together. Different media, and I was actually saying to Aaron as I was walking over here, I was going, you know, you watch the episode, it's kind of like it's perfect for people that have ADD problems. Because it's like, where are we? Illustrations, old footage, you know, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's a live story. Now, you know, it's that kind of a thing. But I thought they did a very good job of putting it together. Now, I've only seen my episode, but I was real happy with it. I'm sorry, I just started. But
no, you killed it. You
what the hell?
yourself better questions, I think, than we could have.
How did you do it? Wow.
No, you crushed it. That was a good start. Did you listen to the podcast at all before?
I don't really have a lot of free time, period, but I did check it out, and I did find out, you know, I think it's the #1 podcast in the world, or one of the highest ones, and I have done other podcasts, and then I did investigate Aaron, and then I did listen to one of them, and kind of got a feel for it, and I went like, I can see how this could be really, really popular. It's exciting. It seems like I think this is it's a very unique way to do dramatization. Is it a dramatization, or is it, you know, I don't even know how to categorize it. But I was really proud to, I was very excited about putting on that wardrobe and, you know, finding the mutton chop look that I wanted. And, I want to part my hair down the middle, you know, just totally losing yourself into a character. And I don't get to do that many period pieces. So,
As an actor,
I don't really get to do that much. So, you know, and then, you know, the whole, it's just very interesting because you're dealing with a historic thing, the introduction of seances in the metaphysical world. Where were we as a country? Who were we as a people? It's fun to kind of, you know, go back and explore that and think what that must have been like for these people. And this guy was a man of intense faith, and for him to be willing to crack open that door into the afterlife and see if he could connect with his wife, whom he loved dearly. It was very innocent, but
Did you just use the podcast history, or did it spur you to prepare more of your character by actually digging into the history and stories?
Yeah, I immediately tried to find information about the incident that this is based on. It's called the Connecticut Haunting, and it's a mansion, and that's where this whole story comes from. The guy's a real guy. I saw photographs of him, and what happened to the house, and you know, just sort of let myself explore that world was kind of the research I really did. I mean, I'm a believer myself and a churchgoer, so that whole world is very interesting to me. And then to God bless you. Then to get in there and then go, okay, now I'm gonna kind of take this step into something I really shouldn't. It was fun. So much of my acting comes from wardrobe and makeup, and how the physical personification of the character is going to be. So it's easy to kind of lose yourself. It's almost like when I put on all the wardrobe, all of a sudden a mid-Atlantic accent started appearing. It was like, wow, all right, I'm going to go with that. I want to sound different, and that's the fun thing. It's like that's 90% acting to me. 10% is learning your words and hitting your mark and doing your thing and believing it. But as we're kids, that whole make-believe thing and dressing up and playing and you're an army or whatever you are. That's what acting is. You're just a grown-up doing it.
So, did you find it difficult going from something like Scorpion, Cape Gallo to this character as like being different genres of television?
No, because I think maybe because I've been doing it for so long that Scorpion's a job, and I know what I got to do for that guy, and I've been doing it long enough now. We're in our 4th season now. When I did this, was the end of my 3rd season, and I'm trying to think, because I did 6 jobs on my hiatus this year. I did Lore. I think Lore was the first thing I did. So you could feel the gears shifting.
Right. Okay.
I'm doing Cave, and then now I've got something else going over here, and it's kind of like, oh yeah. I should really start thinking about that. You know what I mean? And then you stop, you get out of Cave, and now you jump in the car with this guy, go. And after I did Lore, I think I did a movie with Alex Pettifer that he's directing called Backroads. And there was something else I did. I'm forgetting it. I did Bleed, Lore, Bleed, Backroads.
Or you can't talk about that.
I can't.
Oh, thank
That's
God.
why you can't remember.
You might have to.
Oh, that's right. No, she's right. She's right. She's just helped me chronologically remembering it. There's another thing I can't talk about. But anyway, the question was, no. I did not have a problem shifting gears. And if you do, that's what you got to kind of work through. Neil, my director's name. Oh, shit. Nick. We had lunch in Conyers, Georgia, and discussed what he wanted to do with this and what he was expecting me to do. So you start emotionally connecting yourself to the story once you're kind of like, this is who I am, and this emotionally I'm devastated by the loss of my wife. And now I have a new wife and kids, and spiritualism's coming around, but I would really love to talk to my wife again, because I really love her and I want her to know how much I love her. Because she passed away, and I feel like I need to do that. And I'm willing to do that, to check this new thing out. Now I've uncanned I've unleashed the spirit onto my new family, and I feel really guilty about that. And that's kind of what that story kept going. I think at the end of the story, my new wife, who's a fantastic actress, by the way, she's in it's Jason Bateman's show on Netflix.
The Ozarks?
Ozarks. She's in Ozarks. She's the preacher's wife. Actually, I'm a preacher in that story. So she was fantastic. And it's fun. It's fun to see all the actors, trying to get into that period. You're walking around a set. You got this great mansion. You got to forget about iPhones and the internet. And what would it be like to not have electricity? And you can see how these fears would just manifest themselves and keep going and going.
What do you think about these kind of things that we can't explain? Like, what's your personal take on them? And in this particular story you were in, and some of the other ones, what do you think?
That's a good story. That's a good question. I think the mind is very powerful. And I think certain situations you can find yourself in, you could definitely scare yourself to death. I've been in situations where I am so scared right now. You know what I mean? And you kind of have to work your way out of it, because it can overwhelm you, and you can see how you could really believe what you perceive is happening to you. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Don't you think?
You're not sure that you believe that things actually happen, but you think the people who experienced them definitely believed that it was happening to them.
Yes. That is correct.
Now, was there anything when you were a kid that traumatized you? Like, were there any scary movies that just like scared the shit out of you, or anything that really?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre scared the hell out of me. There was something really wild about that. I don't know how that's relevant. I mean, the question is relevant. I don't know if my answer is relevant, but I used to do crazy stuff when I was a kid, though. I grew up in Georgia, where this was actually filmed. Oh, you really?
Yes.
What part?
Atlanta.
Marietta.
Oh.
Marietta. You know what I'm talking about. And she didn't even know who she was coming to see. And she sat down and told me stuff about people that are on the other side that were communicating through her, that I am convinced it is totally real. It blew my mind. I didn't know what a medium does. And it was all unfolding in front of me, and I'm going, how the hell do you know that? They're talking to you right now. Yes. Yeah, it was like, it was, you know, I mean, how can any of us really sit back with any certainty and say we honestly know what the hell's going to happen once we check out of here? Because we don't. And that lack of certainty, that uncertainty, is, I think, what maybe feeds into all this kind of fear that we have of certain situations.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Because we don't know.
When somebody acts like they know the answers, that's the person you want to stay away from.
Right.
Yeah.
You know everything? Okay.
All
They're
right,
also the ones who die in horror movies. So.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's so deep. It's layer upon layer.
Yeah.
What's the universe? Why are we here?
Right.
What the?
As a follow-up, was there anything from lore that kept you up at night while filming? Did the story affect you at all, or any other stories from
I had a lot of questions, real questions. I was because I am a believer, and I was sort of very aware of what this must have been like for Ezekiel, my guy, and what he must have felt like when his family, his sons, were like looking at him and going like, you can't. A lot like Bernie Madoff's sons were looking at Bernie Madoff when they were going like, how the fuck did you do this? Why would you do it? You know that whole kind of a it must have been that big of a thing for them. You're tarnishing your reputation. You're over this seance crap that was new at the time. Have you ever done a seance?
No.
I only played with the Ouija board once, and that was a no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you
I
do
didn't
a Ouija
mean to.
board? Never. Did you do a Ouija board?
My cousin did, and I was there, and it was my cousin, my best friend, and me, and I refused to play. My cousin broke her leg the next day. My best friend, later on in the week, she got hit by a car.
I always thought that, like, how the heck is Parker Brothers contacting the
We didn't have a Parker Brothers one. We found it in the basement. It was a horror movie. We found it, and I was like, I'm not doing
We
this.
found it. I did one And I remember getting really spooked with the people I was with. Like, it wasn't good.
You always wonder if
It
it's
freaked me
you
out a bit.
or if it's everyone
Did you do
else.
just
It's
the
real.
Ouija board, or did you do?
Yeah.
Was it like the
No, this was
candles
like
and all
this
that
thing
stuff?
was going, and we were like in there, and it really felt like something, some spirit was there. Look, I grew up with my mother's kind of, you know, a little kooky in the sense that she buys into a lot of this stuff. She's forever telling me stories when I was a kid about, you know, when you were born, this happened, and then when your grandfather died, he visited me, and you know, she's into all that stuff. You know what I mean?
She set you up for it a little bit too.
So I guess I'm kind of like, well, it could be, but I didn't have any real experience while I was doing the show, other than the questions about what it must have been like for us. You go trying to dig into that. I'm done.
Thank you.
Guys, thanks a lot. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.